Hey everybody, it is Talks from critshappen.com. Thanks for watching. Welcome back. We are about to do a short tutorial video on Solforge. A couple of people had asked us to kind of explain what Solforge was when we put up a critical play of it about a week ago. So we're going to do a pre-recorded game here and, well, maybe not a whole game, but talk to you a little bit about what Solforge is. So the first thing to know is Solforge is free to play. It's from Stoneblade Entertainment, who are the makers of Ascension. And it is put together with a combination of their designers, Richard Garfield, who many of you know from Magic the Gathering, and a host of just brilliant designers. The game is designed to be all around evolving cards. So taking a card, playing it, and leveling it up. Doing things that you can't normally do with a normal physical card game and doing that through a digital means. Right now, you're able to play it on the PC through Steam or on the iPad, and again, it's free to play. You can earn silver every day, which will get you packs and deck slots and different things like that. And you can buy gold as well if you'd like. So there are in-app purchases or in-program purchases depending on how much you'd like to invest in it. I was a Kickstarter backer in this last year at I believe the $40 level, and I've been very happy with everything I've gotten so far, and definitely looking forward to more. As you can see, there's a couple of buttons over here between campaign and tournaments that are grayed out. Those are coming down the road. But there's a lot of really fun things inside of Solforge. It's a very simple game to learn, and it's a very hard game to master. And there are 4 factions. So let me go into the deck builder real quick and explain some things. There's 4 factions in the game. There's the Alloyan, there's the Tempest, there's the Necrium, and the Utera, or as we call them, the silver, red, purple, and green. And each one has its own abilities and spells and different combinations and ways of playing. And you'll learn that as you go through and play different ones. But in essential, Alloans are all around strong health, very, very big on armor. Tempest is around direct damage. Necrium is around recursion and sacrificing. And Utera is about growth and pumping up. And then you have the filter capability between those up here, so I can select on Utera and get them out of the list. If I wanted to just look at Alloin, I can do that as well. I can sort by rarity, I can sort by attack, by health, all those different things. And then I can sort by creatures and spells. So if I just want to see spells, I could uncheck creatures, check spells, and see all of them. If I wanted to actually see the cards, I can either click on this button and it will show me a pictorial version of the cards, or I can double click on anything as well. Now, one of the nice things about the cards is even in the gameplay, you can see all the different levels. Now, I mentioned before the object is about leveling up your cards. They get better as they go. So this one is a level 1 card. At the beginning of the game, everyone has a 30 card deck, and you have access to all of your level 1 cards. When you play a level 1 card, a level 2 copy goes into your discard pile. So this says target level 1 creature gets Defender, which is what that symbol is. I can click on Defender and it will tell me a creature with Defender does not start a battle. Now, what is a battle and why would I want to battle? Well, let's take a look at gameplay and what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and create a game, and I'm just going to pick a random deck against a computer and a random deck as well. There are options for online friends, online random, so you can pick and choose friends to play with, or you can go random against anybody. And the concept is it is a lane combat game. So the computer went ahead and went first here. He's playing an Alloin deck, or at least a deck that has Alloin in it, which is the Bright Steel Gargoyle. He has a lot of different icons going on, so we'll explain some of that stuff later. But essentially you see there's 5 lanes. So the top area is my opponent, the bottom area is me, this is my hand. Anything lit up with that white hue around it means I can play it right now. Sometimes there's cards that won't let you play it unless a specific thing is happening on the battlefield. But essentially what you want to do is in lane combat, if I put somebody on the opposite side of this Bright Steel Gargoyle, they're going to battle each other whenever we go to fight. The first time you put a creature down, they have that shield symbol and they cannot attack. In this guy's case, the Bright Steel Gargoyle, he actually gets Defender, which also puts that shield symbol around him on an opponent's turn. But if a opposing creature is in the other lane when you do a battle, then they will attack each other, dealing damage and health. So if we open up this Bright Steel Gargoyle, we see he has 5 health and 5 health here in the green and 5 damage in the attack. As he levels up, he gets even faster or bigger with 9-9 and 16-16, and the art gets better as you can see. So we want to kill him. But he also has 2 armor, which is what this symbol is, and 1 mobility, which is what that symbol. And it's pretty logical. I mean, you think 2 armor is going to prevent 2 damage, and the 1 mobility is going to allow him to move lanes if he wants to. So it's pretty versatile. We have some tricks up our sleeve here as well, and just to give you an idea of some of the things we can do. So we have an Asherin Mystic. He is a 3/5, and he has a thing called Aggressive. He says when Asherin Mystic deals battle damage to a player, it gets +1 attack and +1 health. The aggressive, if we click on it, says a creature with aggressive is always on the offensive. So that means that if I bring him out this turn, he will automatically attack. So I can bring him out and put him in a lane that doesn't have an opposing monster or opposing creature in it, as well as bring out someone big enough to potentially hurt that gargoyle later. And when I battle, he will automatically deal damage and deal damage to my opponent. You'll see we each start with 100 health, and I've done 3 damage to my opponent, and he's at 97. The first person to take their opponent to 0 or less wins the game. Now, on your turn, you saw I played 2 cards and hit a battle button. That is the makeup of the entire turn that you're allowed to make. The very first player can take and play 1 card, a spell or a creature. From that point on, everyone is allowed to play 2 cards. It can be a spell and a spell, a creature and a creature, or a spell and a creature in any combination. In addition, at least one time during your turn, normally, you're going to have to hit the battle button, which is right here before it says end turn here. You can do that in any combination as well. So I can play 2 cards and battle and play 2 cards, or play 1 card, battle, and play another card. So there's a lot of flexibility, but that is the essential structure of a turn. So now that I've played my 2 cards, I will end my turn and it will flip over to my opponent. He will then get to play his 2 cards, and as you see, he moved his creature over and played a spell to pump him up, and then he gets more defensive on the opponent's turn. It's one of the advantages that the Bright Steel Gargoyle has. Whenever a card that's on the playing field has that lit up area, you'll see that you can do something with it. In this case, my Wind Primordial has the ability to move, so I could click him and move over 1 lane to make sure that he kills that Bright Steel Gargoyle. And then I could play something else into this lane or play a spell. I have a Primordial Surge here to pump up one of my creatures. But the object is that every 4 turns, as you're playing these cards, for example, I'll play my Asherin Mystic here, you'll see a copy, the level 2 copy, goes into my discard pile. Now, one thing right now is you can't really click anywhere and see your discard pile, but it does go into that proverbial digital discard pile. As you take turns, you get closer to leveling up. That's what this green mist does. Since the computer went first, he's a little higher. Once you get to level 2, you reshuffle your deck and you have access to all of the level 2 cards that have leveled up. When you make it to level 3, you will have access to the level 3 cards. As you continue, the games can go on for quite long sometimes. We've actually gotten to level 7 in one game. Every time you level, you reshuffle your discard pile into your deck. So as you continue to evolve and level cards, you will continue to have access to them as you yourself level. And that is pretty much the entire structure of Solforge. Play 2 cards, battle it out. Whoever gets to 0 is the loser. One nice thing about both the iPad and the PC version right now, because you saw that the computer moves really quick, you can click on this TOG button and go to the game log and see exactly what happened. So I can see on their turn, they had the Ionic War Charger was played into lane 4. And it goes, the leftmost lane is lane 1, the rightmost lane is lane 5. The computer then played Ferocious Roar. If I didn't quite know what that did, I can click on it and it will pull it up and tell me that each creature that he controls gets +2 attack and +2 health. And then it tells me lane 1 there was no combat, lane 2, lane 3 lane 2 there was no combat, lane 3 the computer's Bright Steel Gargoyle dealt 7 damage to my Mystic. My Mystic dealt 4 damage to the computer, and then my Asherin Mystic died as well. So you can go back and be able to check everything that happened throughout the game, which is really nice. And this will go all the way back to the beginning of the game, no matter what turn you're on. So that's Solforge. I hope that gives a little bit of an explanation. I know I moved pretty fast through that, but hopefully through the power of the internet, you can rewind and enjoy at your leisure. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know what you think about this video. Feel free to leave your comments below in the YouTube channel. Of course, you can join in on the discussion on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Google+. Just have to search Crits Happen, and then you can find us at our homepage at critshappen.com. But until we see you next time, let us know what kind of decks you'd like us to make and play on here. We'd be happy to record almost anything we have access to, and maybe even have an opportunity to have a critical fan or two join us and play a game as well. But until we see you next time, we hope you enjoy all of your card flipping, card evolution, leveling up times inside of Solforge. Thanks so much for watching. Keep rolling those dice, and we hope they're all crits.